Welcome to the Upholstery Show, live from Arlington, Massachusetts. We're going to serve you up a beautiful bowl of coconut fiber. Really? And look at this beautiful fabric that we have. It came in the door for a channel back, and it's perfect. Jimmy fell in love with this fabric, didn't you, Jimmy?
Oh yeah. I so in love with it, I almost missed it.
Well, we got Jimmy here as usual, and he's going to be joining us. And we got some exciting news about Jimmy. He's actually dressed up his settee that he's been working on, the online classes. We're kind of excited about that because that's a big major step. Oh, somebody's throwing yardsticks at me. Hey, get that member of the studio audience out of here. Security. All right, well, I'd rather have a yardstick thrown at me than what? A baseball bat.
Coconut flour.
Bricks,
Yeah.
cinder blocks. I mean, what would you like? Davis?
Well, you know, the cinder blocks don't measure up, Jimmy. Haha.
You get
Anyhow, let's get going on the questions here. We have a lot to show you. I'm going to be, just to do a little preview, a couple of cane chairs, side chairs came into the shop, and I want to just announce that we did a beautiful YouTube. I think you guys are going to like the YouTube on this one. Look at the cane on this. The customer on this one here, the cane broke 3 times and she was just tired of dealing with it, so she had me upholster it. But you have to check out the YouTube video that will be coming up, right, Patrick? Because I do an A to Z on this one. I show you the supplies and the tools that you need before you get going on it. And I think it really was just, I think I'd call it smooth, right, Patrick? It was just kind of smooth how it all worked out.
Yeah, it was good.
And I think people are going to like that. So, and the
so
other
Janine, she stayed up just for you.
Janine, did you hear that, Jimmy?
She stayed up for us.
Just for Jimmy.
Just for Jimmy, she stayed up.
Oh my God, I'm taken back.
There you go. You can't ask for any better compliment than
I
that.
go on the road trip and Australia's the first stop.
That would be cool. If it ever, you know what? I don't care if it doesn't. I've made plans to teach an outdoor class that I want to get to. Patrick doesn't even know about this. It's just if this. I don't care if we have to wear full body armor. I'm going to teach a class.
Outside?
Yes.
You're just going to kind of drive down Main Street, USA, and say, "Hey, let's do the class."
No, I wrote out a map. I have a map over here about what I could do, how I could set it up, and it's all you need. I'll show you another
Are we
one.
going to leave you alone with this? Is this all on your own?
Would you take an outdoor class, Jimmy, if it was
no,
offered?
you're offering like what, lunch? What's it?
No rain dates because we have Scotch Guard, right?
Let's continue with the show.
Yes.
People are still watching.
The other thing
Thank you, Jimmy.
I want to get to is the ottoman here that I have up here. I'm going to just feature this again because it is featured on the Upholstery on Broadway Supply.com, BroadwayUpholsterySupply.com, but something came up, and I think it's a great learning tool and a great teaching tool for people, because one of our Facebook people had Facebook forum people had a question specifically about pleats, and I just want to show them what the support system they have in a book and the video and the kit itself on how to do a proper pleat. And I want to talk about his pleat with leather exactly. So,
And the book is actually now offered right here on the YouTube channel.
Patrick, that's the best thing. Is it an electronic book?
Yeah, you downloadable.
Wow, that's cool. Do you guys hear that? Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, on our Teespring store. So you see our merchandise on there.
Awesome. The thing about the book, you guys, we're all different learners, and I happen to benefit from all different types of learning. I like, the hands-on to me is the best. But we also have the visual, and we have the book we have the actual physical book and the book online, right? So I love the book.
But the physical, I don't think we don't have that.
Well, the book.
Just digital.
Digital. The book, we don't have maybe someday we should offer the book, Patrick,
Yeah.
to people.
Because, it's not that expensive of an item, and the shipping would just be a lot. That's only much easier just to have it digital.
But there's A to Z basics, and it shows it in illustrations and as simple of instructions as I possibly could. And I think I think some people really learn from this. Most people, I think, from the videos, though. But anyhow, there you have it. I'm going to show this pleats. I'm going to strip this this down to where I'm going to show the pleats on this if I have time. I think I will today. But anyhow, let's get right to the question. Right to the questions. 10 minutes later, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, well, you know, some people happen to talk a little bit.
This is from Aragon. Fixing a pop button for free. She says, cool tip, gonna try it, thank you. Would like to know how you made out if you're looking, because there's 2 videos. That was one of our most popular ones, I think, because I think anything that saves us a lot of money, right, Jimmy?
Absolutely.
Right.
Can't complain about that.
Right, and I think that...
And sometimes it's the little things that make the difference, especially in that piece of furniture.
Yeah, have you ever seen a beautiful settee like the one, who did the one on the Facebook forum, that beautiful tufted settee, Jimmy, that you commented on? Wasn't that gorgeous? Whose was that?
Robert, I think.
No?
I think it was.
Are you sure? Well, imagine that piece and one of the buttons popped out and there's 2 ugly white strings attached to the button, and it's just kind of dangling like that.
You have to fix that.
Right? So you go on YouTube and you say, how? Fix that? Because the problem with that, the hard thing about that is people try to fix it without knowing the slip knot. The slip knot's the key to that, right? Mm-hmm. So they go on the video and they can see 2 videos I have. I have one, how to go to your drawer in your kitchen or your toolbox and find a washer, some string, and a long needle nose pliers.
Right.
Pretty much. That's it. And the proper string if you have it. If you don't have the tufting twine, you can use something else. You know, ideally a nylon twine. And I show how to drop that washer into the sofa and attach it to whatever in there, and then having the 2 loose ends, right? And then making
it takes a little bit of patience.
It does. Stringing the button on one of them, and then doing the slip knot, mm-hmm. and then try and make that button look like all the other buttons. That's the trick. Or you can go to the second video and buy the kit that we have offered, which has all the professional tools. It's that German needle and the clasps and the right twine and so forth. So I love to offer both because I know there's people, especially in this pandemic, who have been struggling. I know people who haven't been working since last March. And I know it's terrible and it's worldwide, and I'm trying to... I think we've done a good job, Patrick, in offering these quick tips, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, it saves money. It's free, right? It's free. And you can only try. If you fail, you can go to the kit or whatever.
Well, I suggest trying till I don't think it's a very hard lesson to learn, but definitely sense of timing and a little bit of patience.
I think people, once they're given an idea too, they might find a better tool. Instead of that needle nose, they might find a better tool to drop that washer behind and things like that. So we're just trying to point them in the right direction. It's not impossible, I guess.
Not for you, Kevin.
Well, oh, by the way, thank you, Jimmy. That's $10. Keep every compliment's $10. You know.
To me?
Yeah. Well, keep it coming.
Oh.
Negative comments, you get minus.
Yeah, maybe $1.
That's minus. You have to be careful. It's a tough audience. Okay, the next one is stuffing a cushion cheaply and effectively.
Are you on the right order, Dad?
Yeah, that's number 3.
2.
Oh, I missed 2, right. How to upholster a dining room chair, part 2, the webbing. And they're asking what length of staple is best. It depends on what you're doing. Now, I know some people who use 1/4-inch staples for the cambric. 1/4-inch staples for me are used only for panels, because the 3/8, the front panel of an arm, because the 3/8-inch staple will go through that, especially if it's a thin panel. So the 1/4-inch is what I use. I don't use it that much. You have a question, Jimmy?
I do have a question.
Oh, by the way, Jimmy has a question in the audience, but you guys are supposed to be asking questions. That's if you have one. This is what the purpose of this is.
Well, this is in relation to the staples. Now, if you have a harder wood, like oak, mahogany, cherry, do you use a thicker staple?
No, they don't come. The gauges don't change on the. Once you pick a gun, the gauge is pretty stuck. I will tell you this though, Jimmy. So you got the 3 sizes for this staple, same gauge.
Okay.
I will say that be careful of what staples you buy.
Why is that?
Some staples are epoxied with an epoxy that's not suitable for the pneumatic, and believe it or not, it jams the gun because the residue starts to collect on the head. That's why Patrick. No, and I don't do this all the time because we want to make money. It's not really why I mention this. I mention it more because people make so many mistakes buying supplies, and we offer the staple that does not do that.
Good.
I know the difference. So your question, Jimmy, it shouldn't matter with the oak. These staples will go through all three staples. The key is the gun.
Okay.
The quality of the gun, and also your 80 pounds of pressure in your tank.
Okay.
Now, if you want a low cycle on that number before it kicks in, and then you don't have a great gun, that staple's going to go halfway in, and that could be a problem. But with this gun, because it's a low cycle gun, it works on the low cycle. That's the beauty of this gun. And these are offered too. I mean, you'd be surprised at how much a good gun can help you and a bad gun can hinder you during the course of a day.
Well, especially when you're trying to finish up a project. So.
Yeah. So now we're on to 3, which is stuffing a cushion cheaply and effectively. Dizzy Kipper. That's his name.
Dizzy Kipper?
Dizzy Kipper.
Sounds like a baseball name.
Yeah, it's a good name, isn't it? And here comes Dizzy.
Like an old school.
Old
like
school.
1920s or 30s.
Hey, look.
And Dizzy hits it out of the ballpark. Yay! It's either that or horse.
No.
And here comes Dizzy on the outside.
We had that conversation last week.
Uh-oh, the jokes are being repeated.
No, I mean, remember about the horsehair?
What about the horsehair?
We talked about it last week.
What kind of horse makes the best?
Yeah.
I think we pinned that down, didn't we?
Well, yeah.
We had some help. That was good.
We did have some help. We love the help. And once in a while, not all the information
Actually, some of us are beyond help.
not all the information that Jimmy gives on the live
Wait
show
a minute.
is. Please do your fact checking before you proceed.
Hey.
Now you scroll underneath, Patrick.
The disclaimer.
Broadway Upholstery takes no responsibility for what Jimmy.
Really? Maybe I should have some negative comments from you, Mr.
The opinions expressed on this show are not. No, oh, never mind. Dang, I love that word, dang. Dang, I wanted to see you make a down and feather cushion, perhaps in another video.
What's this again?
Unless
The down video?
They're looking to see if I'm going to make a handcrafted down cushion.
Well, we have mine.
Um,
Would you use that?
well, your cushion's already made, Jimmy.
Oh, I mean.
She's
well,
asking if I'm going to make one from scratch. I have to
Oh,
tell you,
sorry.
I will talk a little bit about this. I used to. Actually, one of the first things I did as an apprentice was my job was to fill down cushions. And let me tell you, I know I mentioned this before, but on a hot day up on the second floor of this factory building with all this down flying around
I
here,
can see.
with the fans on, and those guys, some of those mentors weren't nice sometimes. They would point the fans, they would turn the fans, to make the feathers go around the
So
room.
you thought you were molting.
But I remember. Do you remember that movie Cool Hand Luke when he's digging?
Yeah.
Digging, and the guy comes out. He says, "Why are you digging in my yard?" And he says, "What do you mean, boss?" He said, "I want you to put all that dirt back." And he puts the dirt back, and then the boss comes again and says, "Why did you fill my hole up? Now take it out." Well, this is what it was like with the down cushion. You're filling it up, and you have it all open, and you put it in a handful at a time,
Right.
the down and feather, and you have to make sure that you have an equal amount of down and feather before you take the handful, because there's 2 bags, right?
Mm-hmm.
One in here, and you put the in handful at a time. You're filling the channels up to what you think is proper, and then the master upholsterer comes over and says it's not enough. So you put some more in. You got too much. Take some out. How much? It's up to you. They left you alone a lot. There weren't many. You had to go experience it. So it comes down to almost a half of a handful for each channel. What's proper and what's not. If you put too much in, it doesn't breathe properly.
Well, when you say channel, what do you mean by channel?
Well, every down cushion, if you have a seat down cushion, you have 3 channels. You just can't make a casing and stuff foam in it. As a matter of fact, Jimmy, if you don't mind, there's a cushion out there, down cushion out there, that is on that chair. Do you see it? No, it should be to the right. No?
Right here? Oh, this one.
Yeah, bring that over here for a minute.
Wow. Oh, this is nice.
This came in the other day. It is nice, but there's a problem with it, Jimmy.
Wow, what's the problem?
Well, the problem is, Jimmy, feel the back here.
Yeah, nice and hot.
Yeah, feel the front.
Oh yeah. Well, obviously people have been sitting there.
Well, no, the feathers, I'm pretty sure what they have in there is a downproof casing with no channels. So the channel, there's a separation between them.
So
okay?
when you do a seat, it's
Yeah.
always.
The reason for that is exactly why this happened. Look at this.
Yeah.
All the feather, if you guys can see it, I don't know if they can see this on
Oh yeah.
here,
Well,
but-
you can see the firmness.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
So all of them are shifted to the back. So so each channel, as you're getting back to my story,
Yeah.
you have to hand fold each one, and it has to be precisely to the half of a handful, and then they close it up, and then you're done. But I won't be doing that. What's this? Dizzy Kip. If you could take that away, Jimmy. Thank you very much. We'll be asking you to come back.
I love the chair though, Kevin.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Dizzy, I won't be doing that. I don't do them anymore here at the shop. No way. It's too messy. And we custom cut, we custom measure the cushions, but we send out for them. And now Nancy, she says rare find how to upholster 1860 antique chair restoration on the YouTube. Nancy says, are there any questions before I go on to this one, Patrick?
No questions. A lot of people checking in, saying hello.
Is John on there from Ireland?
Yes, they are.
John from Ireland. We got Janine
I
from.
tell you, that's another.
Hi, John, and Janine from Australia. And who
Yeah,
else?
We can go Australia to Ireland. We can.
We've got to take a
Road
world
trip.
tour with the upholstery, Jim.
Yeah.
And, Janine
They'll
said-
laugh at us, but we'll have
Janine
a
says
good
yes,
time.
come to Australia.
Janine says she wants us in
Yes.
Australia.
Oh, I loved my brother. Well, again, my brother used to live there, so.
Sydney?
No, he lived. I'm trying to remember.
No, I thought your brother's name was Sydney.
No, George. Yeah, he
I'm
was
just
named after the country. The country was named after him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good God, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How long did he live there?
He was there 40 years.
Wow. He must have liked it.
Oh God, he was in the Vietnam War, and he would take his recreation there.
So he hopped around from city to city?
Oh, I mean, he was probably in Sydney and other parts, back and forth. He was there for I'd say probably about 6 times during his time when he was in Vietnam.
Wow.
And then he had a job with the government, U.S. government at the time, and he stayed there and he moved on.
Every time I ask about another country and why somebody stayed there, it's always about the people, that they like the people.
Well,
it's
he
not so
liked
much
it.
the landscape.
He loved the people.
Yeah.
And he thought that it was the best place for a family to grow up at the time.
We visited Ireland. I've only visited twice, although my wife's from Ireland, as you know, but each time I couldn't get over the hospitality
Really?
that the Irish, at least in Dublin, even in the countryside, we did go around, but it was,
Did you guys do a tour of the pubs at all?
we went into a pub once.
Oh, you guys gotta go to
You
the
gotta be
pub.
careful when you go into an Irish pub and what you say.
Well, yeah.
So, anything you say-
You don't want to tell any cheap Irish jokes. I can
Anything
say
you
that.
say will be used against you, I guarantee you.
Well, make sure you know a little bit about the ales and,
But if anybody wants to, I think, Patrick, that means, I think I hear that means get going on the questions. And so Nancy says, very cool and exciting to watch. I am redoing a very old chair and the edge roll on the seat smells like mildew. I really wanted to reuse it. Can I bleach it or something? Have you ever heard of people bleaching the edge roll, Jimmy? I'm not sure if you can. The edge roll will fall apart with a chemical introduced, any type of
I'd be
chemical.
afraid that it would, especially with the burlap.
I think they should just start new. Get some new edge roll. Get some new materials
Well, it's
for it.
only a couple of feet.
I don't like mildew. Mildew bothers me.
Yeah,
with-
I don't know how you would clean that off. I'd rather say start new.
Yeah, because it never goes away, right? It will come back.
I would be afraid that it would. And again, you're talking about cleaning materials with bleach or something.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, then all of a sudden now you have the edge roll with the smell of bleach, and now what are you going to do?
Well, this is the 1860s antique chair restoration. And have you ever heard the expression, you got to bite the bullet? Do you know where that comes from, Jimmy?
Now, where's that come from?
The Old West, the Old Wild West, when they didn't have anesthesia when they were operating on you.
Oh, really?
So that they gave a bullet. You put a bullet in your mouth and bit the bullet while the doctor was doing what he needed to do. That was the extent of the medical knowledge back then, of the medical field.
So basically, if it's anybody walking down the street, hey, do you know anything about?
So you have to bite the bullet in this one and buy all new material, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, well, it's only a small amount. How many feet is it?
Either that or get some. Never mind.
How many feet is the right edge roll?
Well, it comes in, Patrick. Do you know how much it comes in on the site, Patrick?
The 10?
The 10 feet.
I think so.
Oh, that's
usually the minimum.
Right.
Well,
so
yeah,
for the project, how much?
minimum. There's always a minimum. Well, for their project, they need less than that.
Oh.
But they'll have extra.
That's,
They'll have extra.
Yeah, they'll have extra. I'd definitely get rid of the.
So Philippa, sewing machine 101 for upholsterers. Hello, I do curtain blinds and loose settee covers, and I was going to buy a Juki 1181 with a walking foot. Do you think this would be too heavy and would it need much maintenance? Thank you for your time. Yeah, I do. I think that would be too heavy. What you have to remember about walking feet, the biggest sales is on the walking foot. The nice thing about it from heavier fabric, and even for lighter fabric, I would admit, is that the fabric is pulled, it almost, and I hate to say this, but this is what the salesperson would say to you. Just put both two fabrics in and let it go, and the fabric, the two fabrics will stay even with one another.
Oh,
Now, I don't necessarily believe that. So what I tell people, I have this Juki over here. This is the Juki that I have, and it's a DDL 55509. That one is what they call a teacher's sewing machine or a student's sewing machine,
Okay.
or both. And that the simplicity is beautiful on this. But what it means is that you have to actually have a skill to sew with. You have to actually hold your cover when you're sewing. You just, even on the walking foot, it doesn't work. In order to go to the walking foot machine, you need to develop a good skill on a regular machine. I actually started on a treadle machine, Jimmy. I'm not saying the treadle machine was around a lot longer than I was. I'm not dating myself or anything. It was just in one of the shops I worked in was a treadle machine. I have to tell you that, you know, when you're pushing the pedal down and the machine is working for you and you get into this rhythm,
Right.
and it's kind of fun. It's kind of nice. It really kind of connects you to the sewing. So this is what you need to do. You need to develop, not so much on a treadle machine, but on a machine without a walking foot. Develop that skill. It's really important to develop this as an upholsterer. You need to develop that sewing skill. Take a class. There's sewing classes that are offered specifically too, and anybody can benefit from somebody that is more experienced than you are. I don't care who you are. There's always somebody out there more experienced, right? And they could maybe school you on the other machinery when you need it, if you need it. But I wouldn't get the walking foot at this point. It sounds like she doesn't need it at all.
Okay.
No. Jimmy, we have most of the answers. And the answers that we can't, maybe what we'll do is say we'll get back to. Well, we have said on previous shows, Patrick, somebody had a question. We said we'll get back to them, right, Patrick?
Right.
We
Next
don't,
week.
we don't know all the we don't know all the answers. So here we go, finishing up on the YouTube videos. Number 6. I'll pause here to make sure there's not a question. Jimmy, do you have a question? Jimmy, right now, I think he's an administrator on the forum, the Facebook forum, and Jimmy, even as we're sitting here, he's checking the forum to see if there are people who've checked in. And Jimmy, actually, one of his jobs, right, Patrick, is to okay people.
Yeah.
And you've never denied anybody, right?
No.
Good. That's good, Jimmy.
We have a few follow-ups about that. Gabrielle says, my heavy machine motor takes 20 minutes to come to a stop.
It's like a freight train.
Janine says she agrees with you. I feel you lose some of your hand skills if you use a walking foot.
That's the word, hand skills. Did you hear that, Jimmy? Hand skills. That's true. So now we go to Jenny. Quick tips on fixing upholstery damage by a pet. How do you remove a scratch from cotton velvet, please? Whoa, you got a problem there. I'll tell you I'll tell you what you could try. I do have an answer for this, believe it or not. Get a little whisk broom. This is a solution called Spring Mist, and unfortunately, we do not offer this, right, Pat? We do not offer chemicals on the website. You're gonna have to.
The issue with shipping
Yeah.
that stuff out, I think.
As a matter of fact, they banned us from Facebook because we were selling guns.
They didn't ban us. I actually got it out.
Did the NRA call you? Would you like to become a member?
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. They didn't ban us.
I contested it and then they put it up. So.
Oh, so they did put us
Yeah,
down.
they put it up. Yeah.
Wow. Banned from Facebook.
I just thought it was funny. I even had to go through with it.
But I say, give people more staple guns. I think staple guns could be a key to peace in this world, Jimmy. I think we should all be.
Arts and crafts time, yes.
Arts and crafts. I think that, in a way, we talked a little bit last week about the kid and about how, if you've got, people are unemployed. I'm getting on a serious note here I'll get to this in a minute. People have been unemployed, especially young people. That's not good for anybody. I know I need to, at my age, still work. I really do get a lot. I gain a lot from the work. And I think that we need to be busy. I think all of us need that. It's about called self-worth. But I think, if you're somebody that has money and you have somebody that's unemployed in the household, and you want to get them going on a little trade that's harmless and they're not going to get hurt, they can take their time with, they can watch the YouTube videos. I think upholstery is terrific for this. If you're somebody, you're a mom that's worried about a teenager or a 20-something that's not working, set them up in the garage in an upholstery shop.
Well, it's too bad there isn't something that other people couldn't.
But there is. It's the YouTube and the online classes.
Yes.
They got everything they need there, and there's furniture everywhere. Neighbors have furniture. When I was first started, I had somebody come up to me and say, "Would you like to practice on my sectional?" Oh boy!
Oh my God! You're kidding.
I didn't do that. I wasn't a fool either, right? But what? Patrick, did you say something?
No.
Oh, I thought he said.
That was Jimmy.
Well, I was gonna say, do we need it back right this anytime soon?
So Jimmy, I'm going to ask you now. You've been upholstering for a little while. Somebody has a scratch on a velvet. What would you? I think I already gave it away.
No, I think you use a little bit of a chemical to.
So you know what? I'm going to show people. I'm going to demonstrate this right now. I happen to have a crushed velvet. Excuse me, guys, while I go over here. Look at this. Now, Jimmy, do you see this discoloring here? This is an old. This is vintage. This is from our Davenport sofa that we have for sale, by the way. We've had it in the shop for a little while. We featured this, right, Patrick?
Yes.
And this is a crushed velvet, and it has there's a couple of marks here. I wouldn't call them scratch marks, but they're definitely some type of marking that doesn't look natural to the crushed velvet. Let's give this a shot. So this is called Spring Mist. I think any hardware store will have, like, any type of fabric softener might work the same way.
Okay.
But the broom is the important part.
Why is that?
Because what the broom does is it's going to fix the nap. It's going to take the nap and work the nap a little bit. But the first thing you want to do is find out which way the nap is going. Okay, the nap is going this way, right? So let's see what happens when let's try to remove all this. Let's spray it. I don't know what's going to happen here, guys. I didn't try this. This is live. Anything can happen. We're going to go against the nap. See how it just got darker, Jimmy?
Yeah.
You see that? And then we're going to go with the nap. And it didn't do anything, Jimmy.
Well, I guess you won't be selling that little zipper merchants at 2 in the morning.
So I don't know, maybe crushed velvet's a little different, but this is what you're going to try to do with your scratched velvet, okay? You're going to spray, you're going to go against the nap. You can see that working. And then go with the nap. It didn't do much to this crushed velvet. This is from 1950, so that could have something to do with it. But on a fresh piece of velvet, I bet that you'll get some results from that. So good question, wow. That's what we call live action live, Jimmy.
Wow, yeah. And you didn't even break a sweat.
No. Some of the stuff we do, is impromptu. We don't know what comes up. I didn't know this was going to come up like this. And we just so happen to have a crushed velvet. And after the opening, we just happen to have a coconut fabric right after our
How much
opening.
is that per yard? Tell me that.
Well, this is gold. I don't know if it's real gold, but it's a nice shiny gold. Let's bring it up to the camera. I kind of like this fabric. Jimmy does it. That's
He
interesting.
doesn't send me.
Really?
No. I don't know
Okay.
what I would put it on.
Well, it's going on a wind chill. Let me show you what it's going on. Let me just go off camera once again.
You get a hand?
Oh, I fell. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez, you got me.
Sorry, Pat, we
In
didn't mean to
today's
scare
show,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, we're shipping to birthday.
So this is the chair that the coconut fabric is going on. And wouldn't it be something and awesome, Jimmy, if I took this chair apart and found coconut fiber in this chair? I think that would be awesome.
Maybe not.
I have a feeling it's horsehair. This is an old channel back.
Well, you're gonna have a little bit of, I love it though, nice and wide,
Isn't it nice?
back chair.
Yeah, let's,
Okay,
just,
now,
let's just take a look. Jimmy says he doesn't like it.
All right, let's have a vote. How's that? An online vote.
All right, can you do that, Patrick?
well, I can't see the chair.
Are you kidding me? I love the fabric. I love it.
I don't know.
I've had coconuts you'd like it from.
Oh,
I love it. I love T-bone steak. Do you like T-bone steak?
do they have that out there?
You could just call me T-bone.
Oh, T-bone.
T-bone.
I thought it was like the Almighty or
Patrick-
oh,
Patrick's
Great
love.
One. And, you know, you told me that before too. So I mean,
You don't believe
what do you
anything.
want to believe? Or
Anyhow, that's nice. Let's get back to the questions now. I told Patrick if this picking one starts to come this way, to put it on mute and for to change stuff.
yeah, there's an awful lot of mute in this section.
Denise wants to know, do we have a channel back video on YouTube already?
We don't.
Yeah, she said.
Well, we're gonna have to.
Yeah,
I have
that
been
one.
looking faithfully every day.
Well, Jimmy has an announcement, everybody. Let's listen to Jimmy.
What's that? I don't do, I
Your
have been looking-
announcement
I have been looking faithfully every day on Facebook community. For a while.
for a channel back.
Yes, I would love something like this, what you have in front of you right now.
That's a beautiful chair.
Yeah, that is classic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't think we have any.
We don't. I think it's one of the only ones we don't have. But just to give you an
actually, you
idea.
know, that'd be great for a lesson.
For class, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Jimmy, look, because then we could say that we can announce that Jimmy found it and that a class will be coming up on
Oh,
that.
absolutely. If we find that, it's going to be a definitely.
Janine agrees with Jimmy, not her taste.
Now, so I just wanted to mention something else about this quick tip fixing damage by an upholstery, damage by a pet.
That's a
I-
funny comment.
I pretended to be an expert on cats, Jimmy. Can you believe that?
Since when?
I was just kidding.
This sounds like a Jimmy comment. Read this next.
What, the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, Jenny says, P.S. That cat really did a number on that couch. Whatever the case, the husband's headed for the doghouse.
Are you sure that wasn't you in this conversation?
You know what's funny about that?
Touche.
You know what's funny about that? You know what husbands are really good at? Not listening. I knew it. This wasn't me, you guys. My wife, or I knew a guy whose wife said, go down to the pet store. I mean, pet stores aren't the greatest place to get pets either, are they? But anyhow, this was a few years ago, you guys. I don't think well, whatever. But anyhow, the story is he was supposed to get a domesticated cat, let's say that, from a shelter. On the way there, Jimmy, you know what happened? A funny thing happened on the way to the shelter. You know what it was? He was going by an alley, and he looked down. There was some cats down there, some feral cats. He didn't know what feral meant. He just saw cats, and so he grabbed one and took it home. Well, they had the hardest time with that cat.
I can imagine.
Eventually, they had to bring that
Yeah, that
cat.
sounds familiar.
But maybe
I'm pretty
that's
sure we had a few of those cats in the past.
yeah. It does sound familiar, doesn't it? It takes. I'll tell you something. It takes a very special person to train a cat that was feral to live indoors with people, Jimmy.
I think we
Oh,
need
yeah.
to do it. I think
Yeah,
we need,
they are much more independent and much more defensive.
Patrick was going to say.
well, I think we need to do another cat furniture video.
But I'm not pretending to be an expert on cats, Jimmy. I'm not. Somebody. That's the reason
You got Betty White coming down on you pretty soon. Right?
I'm not an expert.
Just
I'm not
an
like-
expert on fixing the damage.
Right, and they were having an argument on the comment section on that video. Remember, Patrick,
Yeah.
the people?
Yeah.
And they were saying this. If somebody said, Jimmy, somebody said this guy knows nothing about cats. And then
That's
true. That is true. And then another lady said, another person, a viewer, said, of course he doesn't. He's an upholsterer.
Well, they found you out real quick, huh?
It didn't take much. Well, he didn't help. My son didn't help with the thumbnail.
When does he help?
I'll tell you why. Because he had these silly cat. He had this thumbnail, this silly cat's head coming up behind the sofa. You know, I remembered that very well. You gotta be careful with those thumbnails. You're representing me in a way, you know.
Yeah.
Misrepresent.
He doesn't know basically what he's talking about there.
Oh, we have fun too, you know, guys. So it's part of the whole thing, right?
A lot of
Jimmy?
comments. A lot of people want the channel back. Gabrielle agrees about that.
Oh, the what?
She wants the channel back video.
Oh, okay.
We'd definitely have to keep that in mind.
And now we go to 18th. We're going to go to the 18th century now, Jimmy. Imagine. Close your eyes.
Oh no.
You're in your. You know that.
Oh my.
He fell asleep. Wake up! Do you remember that show, Around the World in 80 Days?
Yes.
Do you remember the contraption the guy had? You know,
No,
the time machine is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know the time machine?
Yes.
The old one. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. These guys, these young people don't know. Imagine yourself sitting in that. Now close your eyes.
Okay.
We're going off to the 18th century English Victorian chair. So you're going to land on a rooftop in London. You're going to meet me on the roof. We're going to go down into the parlor of this beautiful English Victorian. And there is the chair sitting in the front parlor.
Oh, classic, huh?
And here's the question. Are you ready? 1820s was a this is a comment actually. This is really good information, Jim.
Okay.
Sometimes we miss out on the information. We don't give it out, right?
Well, it's a poor human.
But this is a really good comment. 1820s was a neoclassical style. This style was not be fashionable again until the Rococo revival stuff of the 1870s, maybe late 1860s. Prior to that, it was a lot of Gothic revival and Florentine revival stuff.
Wow.
How about that?
Good comment.
That was a great comment. Thank you so much. Now, off to the forum.
Yes.
Off to the forum, Jimmy.
You're gonna show. What are you gonna show? The question about the corner.
That I'm going to do. Can we? No, we can't skip that. Can
No,
we?
we have. No, Gabrielle has one and Brad, and they're both here. And
Can you go, Gabriel, first?
sure.
I'll tell you why. Because.
Her and I were talking
Brad's-
on Messenger this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think.
I'll have to messenger tomorrow.
So for all the people who aren't on the forum, please join. Please join the
We
forum.
will answer your questions every week.
Yeah, and Jimmy's a great administrator. Patrick, if it's not Jimmy, it's Patrick O'Kane people, and I think we do that fairly quick. And I think, Patrick, how many people do we have on that? Does that matter?
Over 100.
I
And I want to thank Gabrielle. She just notified me of a spammer, which I got rid of. We do get those time to time.
Yeah, I was apologize for that, you guys, but I think everybody gets it.
That's why I interrupt before you go to the next thing, to Gabrielle's project. Terry says she has 3 channel backs in storage awaiting attention. You are welcome to one, Kevin, if you want to pick it up.
Jimmy,
Where is it?
To the Midwest.
would you like to go
I'll
to
be
the
You
there
ready to take a road trip?
I'll be there for breakfast. Wait, just.
I'll tell you what, hop on that time machine.
I wish I could.
Pat, it sounds like you really want it. They'll get it.
Midwest.
Oh, Midwest, that's too bad.
Yeah, we were just out there. I don't know. I forget where she is, but we were in Minnesota.
Well, I want to thank you for that offer. Anyhow, if anybody else has the offer of a channel back antique, preferably wing chair, we can't be too picky, right, Jimmy?
No, I'll go get it.
Jimmy will get it within how much of a radius, Jimmy? Of
75
3,000
miles.
miles.
does that include ocean?
Well, I can't breaststroke with them.
Because we're along the coast here. You don't want to go 75 miles off the coast.
Gabrielle, so maybe we can move it across the country.
Then you get into international waters, and that can be a little.
Yeah, you need visas and passports and stuff.
Do you know that we upholstered a sofa that was out in the ocean at one time, but we already talked about
Yeah,
that.
it's on the block.
All right, Patrick, remember get that hook out. You got that hook back there?
You mean the buzzer?
The buzzer?
I actually have to get the ordered online.
The trap door?
Would you rather like a timer? A kitchen timer, Pat?
No, I want that really loud when it goes, eh. So we-
Oh, well, the real, like the Gong Show buzzer.
Yeah. Then I got Gabrielle's post up
Actually, we
right
should
now.
get you a
That's
hook is what we should get you.
So here's Gabrielle's, I love the graphics. She always sends these
It's
good
a very,
pictures.
really cool piece. I thought that was cool.
So, latest project, wood repair is almost complete. This has been completely stripped of upholstery. The original filling was still in place. White horsehair, Jimmy.
Wow.
White horsehair. That's I wonder if it was prematurely white, or it was an old horse, or it was blonde. I'm wondering about that. But you can have, some of these pieces can have blonde, can have white, can have black, brown horsehair.
Have you heard of white horsehair?
I think this is the first.
You've been in the business how many years now?
This is the first. Maybe it was an albino horse. Who knows? White horsehair, cotton, then black horsehair, and plant fiber.
Plant fiber?
What could that be?
Well, not that funny stuff.
I assume they had installed a wire edge on the springs in the 40s because it has a 1940 feed sack used in a repair. This is
What?
cool. She's got all kinds of history going on. She's got National Geographic. She's got the History Station. She's got all kinds of things mixed up in this thing. 40s with Warrior. I'll tell you why it had a feed sack. I can be a little bit of an investigator myself, Jimmy. Any
can.
idea why a 1940 chair would have a feed sack rather than the regular burlap that we order?
Well, it's a little bit more probably resilient.
Now think, go on your time machine, put yourself into Europe in the early 40s. What was happening? I'm putting you on the spot, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. I mean, you make me think about the
There was
material,
a
but...
big event happening. It was huge. A lot of countries were involved in it.
Oh, World War One.
World War II.
World War One, right.
In 40s. So nothing was available.
So they used whatever was basically...
They use anything. I have found, from the 40s, I have found all kinds of things in furniture. Unbelievable.
Well, they used newspaper too, didn't they?
Newspaper. The newspapers are cool because it's dated, right? The newspaper's
Right.
dated.
I mean, but would they be of any value or even that?
Not really.
No,
I mean,
probably not.
it's just a value. I always think, Jimmy, I always love a story associated with a piece of furniture. I think the stories have value onto themselves.
Terry says that hair might be from a pig. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
mixed with,
Could
mixed
be.
with horsehair.
So she has pig hair, horse hair, cotton, black horse hair,
Hey,
plant
really?
fiber.
Wow. well,
She's
they-
got a feed sack from the 1940s that they used instead of burlap because the war was. This is definitely a wartime piece right here.
Yeah, well, if it comes with a label, you definitely have a piece.
Well,
This
didn't
is-
you find that on one of the video we have up? That was from a burlap sack, wasn't it that?
We got from that 1860 chair.
Kansas.
We learned more information from that sack. We actually found who made the chair, right, Patrick?
Yeah, it's from some sort of factory.
And you found a picture of him online. He had a
Yeah.
picture from the 1860s of this guy, he had a mustache, didn't he?
Yeah, of
Patrick put it up while we were doing the chair, this history of this guy who manufactured this chair. Jimmy, you look like you have a question or a comment.
No, I'm
Or
I'm,
gas.
focused on you.
Sorry. That she goes on to say, it is an awful look, so I am going to remove the wire and tie them. It has 18 springs. They don't touch, but how does one determine the correct amount of springs? See more. Hold on. I don't think I have the rest of that comment, Patrick.
Oh yeah, I messed up on that.
That's okay. But, I want to say something right away about this. Now, when I look at this, Jim, I look at this piece. It's scaled. She is right. Gabrielle's right. This was an added piece, this wire edge. Bad idea on this piece. Okay, it's way too thick. It's way too high. If you look at it, do you have a picture of it? Can you see it, Jimmy?
Nope.
Well, Patrick, you have the picture up and
Yeah, I
everybody
zoomed
can
in,
see it,
too.
right?
Yeah.
When you look at this piece, even in this photograph, it's too big. That's not a finished piece, is it? Is that a finished piece,
That's
Patrick?
what the rest of that was. They don't touch. They don't touch. But how does one determine the correct amount of springs? It's about 4 foot long. That's what the rest of it.
So the rule of thumb on springs is don't have them have them about 2-inch space from each other and from the wood rail in front. That's a good indicator, and then just fill it in. But I wanted to say that if you have a wire edge, the best way, Jimmy is doing this, we're going to show this in a little while, so stay tuned, Gabriel. And I think you guys have seen this last week. You have to build a hot edge. What I mean by a hot edge, it can even be built by, you can put a piece of wood there, but you need to put a soft edge, like an edge roll, on top of that. But Jimmy actually has two fox edgings on top of one another with the stitching done.
Now, how unique is that?
Not so unique. I'll tell you, I would rather do this what you did than add wood to a piece. I'd rather build it with my softer materials.
Okay.
But it's still called a hard edge, whereas this is called a wire edge.
But
So this is
something like that where it's-
before picture. There.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, I stopped myself because I didn't want to insult anybody. Now I can talk freely. You know? So when you look at this, Gabriel, that is way too big for that piece of furniture, way too high up, way too linear. You know, you can have a little bit of a crown there, even though it's rectangular. But what you're going to have to do and replace that wire edge is at least what Jimmy did, or that wood piece that I told you about. You need something. You need a hot edge. And the springs that you choose, you need to change out the springs. You can't use the big springs that this has. So you need to go to a number 1 or a number 2 spring would be fine on this. So I'll tell you exactly what you need in the seat. You need to space your springs, your number 1 or number 2 springs out about every 2 inches. You're probably going to end up, if I had to guess, 6 rows of 2 or 6 rows of 3, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. And you're going to hand tie them, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're going to, you can put your burlap over that, and then you're going to do your rolls, your edge rolls, both in the front and the back.
Okay.
Right? And then you're going to add maybe a 2-inch piece of foam, right?
Okay.
And cotton and the fabric. That's pretty much it.
So what's the thread that you use to tie the springs with?
Tufting twine is the best
Tufting
thing.
twine.
Oh, well, the springs are the ruby twine. The ruby twine.
Ruby twine.
Yeah, and the edge roll is the tufting twine with the
Okay.
blanket stitching.
She asked, should the seat be half as high?
What's that?
Should the seat be half as high?
I would say maybe a third less, or 2/3 of what I see here. 2/3, not half. I think a half would be too small. Judging from, now see, it's interesting. She's getting into something very interesting here, Jimmy.
She's intense.
Wake up!
She's intense.
She's intense.
I'd love to hang out with her.
She's not in a tent.
We talked about.
What are you talking about? She is not in a tent. Oh, intense, sorry.
The hair is going now too, huh?
What?
What? Yeah. Uh huh.
Yeah.
Uh huh. 4 jokes. Hair is going. I see a decline here.
No kidding. It's not an incline, I can tell you that. He's on an incline, this guy back here.
Oh yeah. Well, he's always on his point.
Holy
You know that.
cow, he's on Mount Everest and keep going. When I look at the arms on this, Jimmy, the arms on this are a little fatter than the average bench, so I wouldn't do anything to change the arm, but you have to actually consider that with the height of the seat. Right now, the seat's overpowering the thicker arm, so she has to take away. If those arms were thin, some of them are really thin, half would be what I would do. But because the arms have some padding to them, I would go 2/3 of what that is. Now, so this is interesting. Scale. Now, you take older pieces of furniture, Jimmy, they're always scaled properly. They're never oversized, and they have these beautiful lines to them, right? I mean, I'm going to pull up this chair again and talk about this chair. Look how beautiful this chair is when you turn it sideways. See how beautiful that is? You know, it's got the proper, it's got curves all over it. I mean, it's just so well done. Chairs, you ask any wood person, they'll tell you a chair is the hardest thing to do for them. So I guess the point is scale. I'm talking about scale is so important. So pay attention to scale as much as you would anything else when you're upholstering. It's really
Good question.
important.
So Janine wants to follow it up saying, should she reuse the horsehair or save it?
Oh, reuse it completely. You don't even really have to. Sometimes old horsehair, it comes off and you clip the stitching and you can actually roll it up and reuse it like that. Or you could take it and wash it. Jimmy, I know that you've had some experiences with horsehair and other fibers that we won't mention.
My first project was washing the horsehair.
So you took the horsehair out. Tell people how you washed it.
Basically, it was a light cycle.
With what though? What they put it? You don't put the horsehair in loose, right?
No, you put it in a pillowcase, tie it securely.
It's very
Add a
secure.
little bit of detergent, and you put on a very light cycle, and then you dry it really, really well,
Right.
and it should be good.
But don't do this at your neighborhood laundromat because they might not like that.
Well, that, and I think you really have to kind of keep an eye on the temperature of the dryer.
So when it comes back here, I remember that first time you did really good that first time.
Yeah.
It came here, it was nice and dry, and it was clumped together, but we showed you how to hand pick that. I'll just
Yeah,
tell you a
okay.
little story. This didn't happen to you, but a beautiful day here. I hit somebody out on my sidewalk, which was a fairly busy pedestrian area here, and I had them picking horsehair on the sidewalk, not thinking, what that might look like to people walking by.
Right.
But this was pre-pandemic. But you would have thought there was a pandemic because of what.
You put her outside with it. Yeah.
Well, you imagine this: you're walking down the street and there's this young lady, and she's pulling hair out of a bag. Imagine what that looks like, Jim.
Yeah, you should have put a cup outside with it too.
I didn't realize what that was going to cause.
Did people feel sorry for her?
So you handpicked the horsehair to get it nice and fluffy
Yes.
and airy.
And then when
And
I
then,
put it,
what did you do?
after we set it up on the chair, then of course now we're starting to like sew it into the the fabric, the burlap, and make it all secured, all steady. And then we started to.
You hand stitched it
Oh, yeah, that was great.
a handful at a time.
Yes.
What you did was one handful, and then you took another handful, and then you kind of kneaded it like you would a dough.
Yeah. I mean, it was all.
And when you do that, it locks together, and the transition's beautiful. We always talk about transition, and you have that 2 handfuls is one piece now, and then so on, and then you have a whole row of horsehair.
It
Right.
made, when I put it all back together again, it was much more fuller, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And, other than the fact that it was washed, I don't think the washing, except for cleaning it, I don't think it really gave it much bounce or anything. It just cleaned things up. But you did have, I thought I had much more for the seat itself. And I thought, wow, this is okay. And then we sewed it up again.
Now, is that chair in your home now?
Yes.
How is it holding up?
Good. Good.
I'll
It's
tell you
good,
that
but,
there's nothing better than for batting a horsehair.
Oh.
And I
wow.
see the red light flicking. I don't know what that means, Patrick.
It's just the battery. I'll change it in a second. I just want to get this in quickly. Brad wants to know about that seat height we were talking about.
Go
What is the
back-
rule of thumb for the top of the seat to the floor? Is there an average or asset height that the chair should be?
17 inches. And that's a very good question. 17 inches no matter what it is. It's interesting. This chair is about 200 years old. And you won't believe it, but it's close. So we had to be careful when we did this. This is 18 inches right to the wood. So we have to be real careful about how much padding we put on this. So it's actually an inch higher than what even a modern sofa would be at the top of the cushion, believe it or not.
I'm just going to switch the battery out. 1 second, guys. Go ahead.
Sorry,
guys.
Sorry,
We're back.
we had a battery problem. I'm going to put this down. Now, Brad's been waiting patiently, but I've been saving Brad for last. Now, we just answered his question about seat height. Did he have a follow-up to that, Patrick?
That's all he had to say. Comment from Terry over there.
Yeah, get to that.
I wash in a pillowcase Segway clothes in warm water. Then I lay it out on plastic to dry. Uling wood carders to pick up the horsehair before applying. I'm not sure about that question. You might know what she's talking about.
Is she asking?
To wash the horsehair, I think she's talking about.
Oh, she's talking about washing the horsehair. Jimmy gave how he washes his. She's got another method
Okay.
That I've
Sounds
never-
fancy.
that I've never heard about, but that's fine.
Let's try. I'm open.
Try it, Jimmy. You never know,
Okay.
right?
Absolutely.
Now, what we know, we won't get into that. The second attempt at that for you. Well, let's just
that
forget
was a
it.
poor.
Let's
poor-
forget
I should have
it.
paid attention to it much
Let's
better.
forget. We're not here to embarrass anybody. No, that's not what we do. All right.
Really now?
Now it's Brad's turn. not to be embarrassed, but to show him. He actually asked this question, a loaded question. When I first looked at it, I said, wow, there's a lot to pleats. And I know that because I wrote the book about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to deconstruct this ottoman. This is the ottoman that we have, that we upholstered on the video, Patrick. The people, when they buy the ottoman, they get the video, right?
Yes.
And the thing about this, guys, what I like about upholstery myself is that, you know, it's not a perfect art. I don't think any art is perfect, right? But there's a little bit of a feeling of, you know, ease when you know that your method of tying springs doesn't have to be exactly what my method is. Okay, the end result of a spring tie is that they're secure, they're standing straight up, they're tight, and they have 8 ties on them, pretty much.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying use my tie or my particular knot or anything like that. It's what I like about upholstery. We actually develop our own style, our own pace, right? And as long as the end result is something that's satisfactory, that's beautiful, then what's the difference? What the problem is the knowledge that, like for that bench that we just looked at, and we're going to get to Brad's. This is the problem for most people when they run into something, and they just don't have that knowledge. So that's why the online classes, and Jimmy can speak of this because he's a participant. We're going to get to him in a minute about his settee, but that's what's missing. That's the huge gap. And I think that the YouTube channel, with the countless videos we have up there, and between that and the online classes and the kits that we have to offer, I think that we fill in most of these gaps. And I think, Brad, you would agree with me with what I'm about to show you. Because we have all this support, all this different types of support too, like this online live question and answer.
Right. And
You know,
you're gonna show them today.
One day we're going to be so busy that there won't be any goofing around about coconut fiber or about anything like that, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We're going to just be answering questions the whole time. Right?
Yeah, I'll be in the back there with my trailer, you know, waiting for them.
I don't think there's ever going to be no goofing around.
Well, you know, though, I think Patrick told me some people might be watching just for the content too. I don't know, Jimmy, because Jimmy is the draw here. You know, I told you, he gets more mail here than Santa in the North Pole.
Oh, do I? I haven't seen one piece yet.
Look up over there, up on the blackboard. You kidding me? Right over there.
Oh, yeah, 3.
Jimmy, wait, is there going to be more Jimmy? And when is Jimmy's next class? All that stuff.
So it should be
The Jimmy show.
the Jimmy Broadway Upholstery School with guest host.
Yeah,
Kevin.
right. Who's he?
Well, you know, I mean, you gotta start from the bottom, work your way up.
Let's get to Brad's question.
Yes,
This is crazy.
I would love to know about this.
Brad, I'm finally getting back to this project, but stumped. What would be the best way to fold these corners? The material is vinyl or leather or heavy. Think heavy, right? All 4 sides will be hidden inside the chair frame, which doesn't make a lot of difference. You still need to go through the process of a pleat. So I am going to show you now on this one here. I'm going to deconstruct this one that we did. We actually have a gib tack, I think, in here. Actually, we have French nails over there, but we have a staple holding this. I'm just going to deconstruct this a little bit. Let me just get my side cutters. Was I 100% prepared for this? No, I wasn't, Jim.
Jimmy, Denise posted a picture of her channel back to the forum for you to check out.
Whoa.
Okay.
So let's just deconstruct the pleat work on this. I'm going to take this off. So this is where Brad is. He's stuck. I'm going to bring it to where Brad is stuck, okay? So this frame is a heavy ash hardwood frame. We just sent one of these out today, didn't we, Patrick?
Yep.
Somebody in Vegas
Yes.
learning how to upholster. Of course, this is a great teacher's guide too. If you ever want to do a class, buy this one, be the teacher. So I'm just going to take this staple and just hammer it down for now. So this is what Brad has. Brad's left with this, okay? And the book, or the electronic book that's offered, has a section about pleats. I'm going to bring this way for you can see it. You don't have the overhead on, right?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Patrick, you're on the ball, man.
Oh, sorry, I gotta fix it.
How's that right there?
That looks good.
So we have the instructions. This is the foam. I even show how to cut foam as a pleat here, you guys. And let's go to the fabric, measuring fabric. And then securing, pin tacking the fabric. We go through now. Also too on the ottoman, we show you how to use hand tools and the pneumatic tool. I think I did half of it in the hand tools and half of it in the pneumatic tool. And guess what? I made a mistake, a couple of mistakes that Patrick, I said, do not edit the mistakes. Because I wanted to show what problem solving was in upholstery and how it wasn't the end of the world that I made the mistakes, right? Some people feel as though if they make a mistake, they got to undo the whole thing. No. And I show you how I corrected it. It was with the springtime. Jimmy, wake up.
I do it, but is it Friday yet?
Riveting TV, right?
I'm looking at I'm trying to find the chair here.
So, oh, is that what you were doing? I thought your eyes were closed. Oh, okay, never mind. So, and now I'm going to show you. So this pin tacked, it shows pin tacking, and then the pleat work. So I'm gonna show you this. So the first thing would be indicating where you want your pleat. Okay, so you have a front and a back. This is my front of the ottoman. This is the back. You always want the pleat. This is important. The pleat going all in the same direction. But the pleat always wants to be on the side, on the open side, right this way. You guys see that? Like that, okay? You want to be able, when you're looking at the front, you don't want to see the opening of the pleat, regardless if you're going to hand stitch it or glue it down or whatever. You want this to be, the front to be smooth, okay? So that gives you a clue, Brad, as to the first part of the pleat, okay? The first part of the pleat is going to be on the side. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what I did here. The fabric was not cut, right? So what we did was we cut the fabric, right? Notice the angle. It's not angled this way. It's not angled up. It's angled on the from the leg, right? And the reason for that is, this is very important. You want to make sure it's closed on the pleat and over here. The fabric closes. Watch what I mean by that. You pleat it like this, and you closed it. If you don't cut it like this, you aren't closing the cut, okay? So that's really important. Hopefully I got some juice in this gun. I'm not sure. Yes, I do. Great. So watch, after the normal way is, what we do is we secure this first. Did you notice that what I did here is I pulled down. Now I try to show this in the video, and I try to show this on hand. And then I get a staple right there, and I get another one, right here, or a tack. Then we cut this. Okay, it's always better to secure this. And then we fold this, pull it tight. Look how nice and straight that is, you guys. And then staple it over to here. Brad, you're going to be doing the same thing. And then, Brad, you have a very heavy fabric. So what you want to do first is make this cut. You can do that first. And that cut from the leg again, look, from the leg. Even though this is going to be inside the shed, you don't have a leg, so you don't have to worry about the leg. But I'm focused on your pleat. So you got this part for you. It's the same thing, okay? Forget about the leg for you, Brad, okay? But I'm going to walk through for other people. So it's a cut like this, up like this. You fold it like this, okay? Now, this is the important part for you, Brad. Just get a pair of scissors. When you have most upholstery weight fabrics, you want to overhang about 3/4 of an inch. So that's what I did here, okay? And then I pleat, and look what I do. I get a nice, sometimes your regulator comes in real handy at this point. Watch this, you guys. You take your regulator and point it right at the point, and then you can get your two-way stretch, this way and this way. And then you can get a temporary tack staple in there. I'm not going to do it because I want to show Brad something. And then we dress it up with the French nails, or if you're going to have a skirt, you don't have to do anything, just skirt it. You can hand stitch this pleat. So you see there's a lot even in the basic stuff to learn, right? Now for you, Brad, this is the key for his project. I'm so glad I have this for Brad to show him this. He needs to trim it even more. Now, never even, no matter what you're using, but if you're using shoe leather, you can actually, I've done pieces in shoe leather, believe it or not. Your pleat actually has to be cut almost even, but at an angle like this. So what I'm going to say to Brad, though, because he's got a heavy fabric, slim this down to about 1/2 inch, okay? Because you don't want to see, what you don't want is to see the fold over here, and that's what you'd end up doing. So that's the only difference for Brad, is that he's got to trim his pleat before he pleats it, trim his fabric over. Look how nice that is, you guys.
I want to interrupt that. Janine has generously done another super chat. And we thank you so much, Janine. You've been awesome.
Well, she must see what she likes. It's Jimmy that's doing that, probably.
And she's put in parentheses, you too, Jimmy.
Oh.
Wow.
He's blushing.
It's nice and endearing, Jimmy, that you can still blush at 85. Isn't that nice?
He looks good, Ray.
He's pretty good for 85.
What's the secret?
Patrick, want to shut the mask switch off for a minute?
You know what his secret is. You know what it is.
I need the beat button.
So I'm going to have Jimmy. Now, Jimmy, I'm going to get ready for you. I want to just clean off some things here. Bring in Jimmy. I'm really excited about Jimmy, what the progress that Jimmy made today. He came in and he had work written all over his face today, man. He just wanted to work. He just clean some of this stuff
that ice
up.
coffee you still haven't bought from me this year.
Well, caffeine is really important as an upholsterer. I don't know if you guys will find that.
Who said that?
That was we were a guest who's returning after a long time away.
Let me guess.
I can you would guess who it is.
Who?
They were in a horror movie.
Who?
Our movie?
Yeah.
Who?
It's a clown.
A clown. Oh,
Pennywise. I think it's
Pennywise.
I think it's Andrew, if I remember correctly. I'm not
Pennywise,
sure.
we want to know, is he a professional clown? Because I insulted it.
Well, no.
I think he's just a fan of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Like me, you know.
Yeah.
Fan of what movie?
It.
Oh.
You never saw It, Jimmy?
Yes, I mean, I've seen the character, I know what it is, so.
So before we get on to the next,
That's it.
Now you're gonna make me go out on the foolish movie.
before we get on, I just wanted to show you guys some decorative nail choices that there's about 19 or 20. I remember when there was a lot more, but this is what we're down to now. It's kind of cool. I mean, we mostly French natural. It's a French natural finish, French natural, French natural. This is a brass tack, Oxford it's actually called, pewter. There's a cat's eye in here, there's black leather, white leather, and there's small tacks and large tacks. And I can get a bigger tack in the French nail like we use for Spanish furniture right here, even bigger than this.
Wow.
But yeah, Jimmy, do you have a preference here, Jimmy? They used to have buffalo head nails. I don't see those anymore.
Well, obviously a thing of, time gone past. Actually, I would look on the right side about the middle, the bright gold.
You like the gilt brass, it's called.
Yeah.
Wow, that tells me something about you, my friend.
I'm a glitzy type of
You're an
guy.
expensive person.
Yeah. My teeth are not even.
Let's bring this over.
Right?
Jimmy, what type of motif is this? Let's bring it over for people to see. Nice print, Jimmy. You're gonna look at this. He's got it. This is what we call dressing up a piece of furniture. So when Jimmy was over on the cutting table, as he was cutting, he was bringing the pieces over just to dress the piece up. And it gives you an idea what Jimmy's gonna have. And what I like about his fabric, you guys, is that he has a big, fat, juicy French cushion, a
Yes.
French down cushion. Do you know what the difference between a French down cushion and an American down cushion, Jimmy?
No, tell me. You're
100%.
Look at that camera and tell everybody.
Well, I want you to tell me.
You go and have a clue what the hell you're talking
The
about.
French put, you're not going to believe this, 100% down in their cushions. 100% down. Right here, right in the goose.
Oh, really?
I recommend a 50 down feather cushion. Now,
Is that because you want more resilience? or
No,
you-
it's because we're a little heavier than the French.
Are you sure about that?
No, well, listen.
I mean,
So when the French started making these cushions,
yes.
you know, when you go back 200 years,
Yes.
the average height for a male was about 5'4", and for a female maybe 5 feet, or some difference like that.
You're
Really
kidding.
small.
Yes.
And you know, a great example of that is right here in Boston, Fenway Park. You know,
The seats.
Can you fit, Jimmy? Be honest. Can you fit into those seats, Jimmy?
If I breathe in,
Those seats.
those seats have been around.
1912, right?
Yeah, yeah.
1912. Isn't it the
So
same
we've
year?
been a little bigger. Just
So
a tad.
literally, I mean, most of us need 2 seats, I think, Jimmy.
For yourself.
Well, anyhow, the French were lighter, so
How much- yeah, so-
they could sit on the top of a 100% down cushion.
And feel comfortable.
Right. So now what we're doing is we're adding feathers to try to boost our derrieres up in the air a little bit more, right?
A little more.
You like that
cushion.
derriere, that French?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
anything else you want to say wee wee to?
The reason I'm excited about the fabric that you chose to get to the long, this is a long story to get to this,
Oh God.
is that Jimmy has, right? He has an original French cushion. Let's just bring this cushion up. Look at that, you guys. If you get, and now the camera's at the perfect height for this, Jimmy. Look at the ballooning on that thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Now you're gonna, do you think you're gonna just kind of sit on that and float up there?
Probably not. I'll settle with it. You know.
But this is,
Are you trying to say something?
this,
Or trying to
no,
go-
I mean, you know, me too. I mean, you know, it's
I know. We.
it's just, I think
Let's walk home tonight. How many
It's
miles to
just-
your house? 10, 15?
it's just a beautiful, it's gonna be a beautiful look. And the reason I'm excited is this fabric was very heavy for the down cushion, but your fabric, because it's a cotton cloth,
Yeah.
it's gonna really breathe well with that down, the 100% down that's in there.
Now, will I have to add any feathers to this?
Not a thing.
You sure?
Not a thing.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Jimmy, you haven't done this yet, but you can get even more of a balloon on this. The best way to get a down cushion fluffed up again is just to, right?
You're beating the hell out of it. And look at the dirt.
Bad boy, Jimmy. You were late today, so you get this.
Oh, let's not get into the spanking now.
Now look at
We're
that.
talking about another show, everyone.
I gotta pretend like I'm not listening to him now. This is where the mute button comes on, Patrick. So I think I wanted to bring about something else, Jimmy.
What were we going to say?
Well, now you've lost it, so we're gonna have to put this down and put you away over there now, back to your seat, right, Patrick?
I think so.
I think we caught him.
That one comment, you know,
Do we have
took
any?
it too
Did
far.
you really have
We're losing viewers. John in Ireland left,
Actually,
and
they're going up.
Janine's gone, and
Gabrielle might be hanging on, but I don't know about that.
well, you might as well be a walking advertisement. Jimmy has one of our sweatshirts on. Jimmy, would you mind showing your
Oh,
sweatshirt?
yeah, this is
And-
actually a few months old now.
And Jimmy, would you mind turning around to see the back of the sweatshirt? It has beautiful. Patrick designed these, right, Patrick?
Just put it together quickly. I'm sure I could have done something better.
He's got
Wow.
3 blue staples there in the staple gun on the front. He's got that beautiful chair that would be a nightmare to upholster if I ever had one. And the horses and the Broadway Upholstery School and Master Your Craft. I like it, Jay. I like the color too.
Actually, I have a gray one too.
Yeah. Well, so what did you do today? Tell people what you did today on this.
Well, everything, we finally got down to the material, and all the material, the inner, let's see, the outer back, the inner back, the seat, and,
Let me just remove this.
get rid of
Why
that.
don't you explain to people how we measured it and how
Well-
we saved fabric and you want me to talk
Yeah,
about it?
you can explain it, because we have an
So-
awful few pieces here.
This online classes really get into the detail, especially, I can't talk enough about the little bit of a difference, the subtleties between this YouTube classes and the online classes, and it has a lot to do with this guy over here. We get a lot more serious on the online classes, by the way. So,
Janine says, will the pillow stay 100% down or mixed with feather?
we're keeping the pillow just like it is.
Okay.
She says she wears her shirt every time she upholsters.
Really? Oh,
Thank you
awesome.
so
Tell us
much.
send something in. Oh yeah, we can exchange. Oh, no. Anyway,
Thank you, that's nice. I hope it gets you into the, into the...
I have T-shirts as well as sweatshirts here.
Do you?
Yes.
Wow, Jimmy, thank you for being a good supporter. But I want to talk about that shopping cart that you have that's still full.
Oh,
that's all the
Well,
supplies.
you know what? Again, that was because I was at the time when he ordered.
I
I was promised a spot.
I
And
told you last week. You got a
I
full
can't
shopping
move it.
cart.
I can't
You know what it
move
looks
into
like?
your house. I told you. Your wife would not like it.
It looks like
I'll clear off the kitchen table and.
your shopping cart online. It looks like the Grinch's thing that he bringing up the mountain with all the presents on
With
it.
the little dog
The
on
big
top.
Grinch, yeah, that all the presents are coming off.
Yeah, actually Patrick's dog is great. Hey, that'd be a great thing.
That's your shopping cart on the line, on the store. It was moving along nicely. It was gathering stuff, and then at the very end it stopped, and it's been there for months and months and months and months. And it's not moving. It's not moving, Patrick. That's distressing. I'm just teasing you.
No.
You can reverse the card, throw the gifts off.
No, I'm not gonna.
And you know what
I
you'll
need
learn?
these things.
You'll learn that the spirit is what's
You know
more
what the only
important.
thing
Just
I
like the
can do?
Grinch learned, that when all the kids were singing their Christmas carols around the tree after he took all their gifts, that he didn't take the Christmas spirit out of Christmas. It's the same thing with you.
I think
you can
we should
reverse.
have this.
We wouldn't think anything less of you.
Really. Fat chance.
Anyhow, so Jimmy did the measuring, and then something that came up, I'll show you guys, it's really interesting. He had almost a perfect settee for the width of the fabric that he had.
Yes.
Now, does this make sense? For you guys who have been upholstering, I get excited when I put all my numbers down and I see two numbers that scream to me. 54 and 27. 54 and 27. Jimmy, you know why? The width of the fabric and half of the width of the fabric, right? So when we did all our listing, Jimmy had a 50 and a 52, which is, you might as well say 54, which we cut.
Right.
So then he went to his next cuts, and they was all squared up. And so he had a 28, the inside arms, we measured 28. So we changed that to a 27 because we cut it 3 inches bigger, and we knew that an inch isn't gonna kill us, but it saved a yard of fabric, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, the way we
It
cut.
saved a yard of fabric. And then we went down to the outside arms, and I added some inches. It was 24, but I threw 27 in there to make another evens cut. So the exciting part of it, and it really is exciting, it's fun when you have things like this happen. Sometimes it's not like this at all.
No, you have
don't
a
have
lot
one
of
good cut at
uneven
all.
cuts.
Yeah.
Denise says, what kind of padding will be on the inside back?
Jimmy, what do you think?
Foam padding.
What type of foam? 1 inch, 2 inch? What's the
I'd say
compression?
2
Is it
inch.
California 117 graded? How is it? Where did it come from? Come on, we know this.
I guess you had way too. Did you have a Starbucks
I'm just
coffee?
teasing
He
you.
did have a coffee right before this, didn't he?
I did.
Did you?
You didn't see me. I snuck down.
Oh, you were the only one that wanted a coffee.
Well, I asked you.
Yeah, well, not going out the door closed and like.
All right, mute button. So, then we get into the last two measurements Jimmy had were 39 wide and 38 wide. So you had a little
kept
piece.
it.
Well, where's the bolt of fabric? Let's get the bolt.
This is we got everything here. I just want to try to
Now,
separate a lot.
one thing
of
I'm going to say, Jimmy, I am going to give you a compliment now. Okay. Now listen, you guys.
Wait a
Look what
minute.
Jimmy did with that.
This means money, Patrick. So get
See-
this on here.
This is when I went to get a cup of coffee. And I was thinking when I went, I wonder, now I didn't say anything to you about this, but I have in previous times when you've cut fabric. I said, Jimmy, never take a cross cut unless you have to, right? A cross cut. So when I came back and I saw that Jimmy had not cross cut and thinking that let's start again with the square edge, because this extra piece could mean everything. It could mean the difference between piping that you can go all the way around the cushion,
Right.
and piping that you have to piece every so often.
Right.
So you leave this extra piece. It means a lot. So
Yeah.
when you get into these bad measurements, we call them, meaning you can't get 2 out of a width or 1 out of a width, which you do when you get into the measurements.
Right.
That happens. You always want to leave that. So it gives you the option of cutting a welt. And I was really excited when I saw that. I didn't mention anything until right now. I have to compliment you on that. A lot of people would have just,
No, to
And
make
then
it even.
what's-
Because they think they have to make it even every time.
what is that going to do for you if you cut that? What's that piece? Maybe a throw pillow if you're lucky, or if you're unlucky, you don't have enough fabric.
Oh, then I'm
Then you're really in trouble. Then you call up the hotline. That, you know what the hotline is?
which one?
BroadwayUpholsterySupplies.com.
1-800? 1-800?
We don't have an 800 number yet,
One-
but maybe we should for people like you who get in trouble.
Why me? Why, you know, what, like what? You know?
Jimmy, let's collect everything, put it back, unless you
Okay.
have any more questions about your time today. Oh, we need to answer the question about the foam.
2-inch foam.
2-inch
Should be.
foam. 2-inch foam in the back,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And has to be consistent on this because it's all
And
going
there'll
to
be
be
a cotton, well, there'll be cotton over.
cotton over that. It has to
Okay.
be consistent because it's all going to be one piece.
Oh,
All going to be one piece.
that's right, because it was all,
I mean, we're going to piece it. We have to piece it, but the inside back and the inside arms are going to be sewn together,
Mhm.
and that's going to be put on as one piece. So it has to be even.
again, the history is, I'm remembering that, actually, that chair in the back there reminded me of what this was
Right.
originally, but that's, we found out after.
So
Thank
Jimmy,
you.
you know what, Patrick?
Yeah.
Unless we have any other questions or comments,
We are good.
I think that,
Another successful show.
I said that again?
Successful show.
Thank you. Said that 10 times.
How about like fruit float? Would you like to say that? Remember that?
But if you enjoyed watching Jimmy today, let us know. Send if you want to send it to Upholstery on Broadway, 205
Concord.
Broadway. Jimmy said MCI Concord. For all those who are in Massachusetts, you know what that means. But anyhow, Jimmy, not good, Jimmy. So we better leave now because I think somebody's getting a little tired. It's past his bedtime.
Oh, come on
So
now.
he's already had his milk.
So thanks everyone for participating. That was
His
really
warm milk.
We want to thank everybody for participating and asking questions
Yeah.
and commenting, and for Jimmy to be here. Jimmy's a good sport because he's been here for a while doing this job, and this will be available online. And is there something coming up online, Patrick, on the online classes?
Well, the update. That's kind of working with the we're working with the computer company,
Yeah.
the development company.
To make it easier for
Yeah,
people.
it's going very well, and I think you guys are really gonna like it. A lot easier. There's no more weird issues, and not being able to access stuff. This is all smooth, and it's gonna be really cool.
And we're always trying to improve both in our equipment and the back end, the technology, and Patrick's an expert. I can't say enough about Patrick and Mikhail and how well they do with this, with all these. I mean, there's so much to this, you don't realize it. I could never do it, but that's why we have them, right, Jimmy?
That's right.
Yeah.
They're invaluable.
Yes, thank you, Jimmy. And listen, you're gonna come next time, next question and
Yes,
answer?
yes, I want to.
That's right, come with your we'll have a contract for you.
Contract? How
yeah.
about a coffee?
Well, that's in your contract.
Yeah, and when you come back, not like, oh, geez, Jim, I wasn't thinking about you today.
Well, with that, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you later, you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.